She's already kind of said the quiet part out loud. She basically said, we want this list so that we can have unwarranted home entry, without a warrant, warrantless home entry into homeschool, into this particular...
All right, that's in Michigan, y'all. Today we're going to get right into it. A lot of people that watch our channel obviously are going to be homesteading. They're going to be living off grid. I would say a large portion of the people that watch our show are homeschoolers. They want to get their kids out of Rome so Caesar doesn't teach them how to be good citizens, and they're teaching them at home. They're doing really good. They're actually thriving, and this is the latest report coming out of Michigan, okay? I'm going to play the whole video for you guys. I want you to listen to it very closely, and then we'll talk about it here in a second.
Comments by state board members. Mr. McMillan.
Okay. So this whole home, you know, and I could have brought it up because you brought it up during your superintendent report, but the whole homeschooling thing is really quite disturbing. And one of the things that disturbs me about this is the disingenuousness of the discussion. Because we have people like the Senate Education Committee Chair, Dana Pohanke, saying that when asked about increasing regulations beyond registration, she said, not on my watch. Well, we got Attorney General Nessel that says that she wants to do it because the foster care system didn't do their job, and apparently homeschool parents, there was some abuse going on at a homeschool home, or it sounds like the foster care system, but certainly a mere registration, a list of people, is not going to have anything to do or will not help prevent what Attorney General Nessel is talking about. So she's already kind of said the quiet part out loud. She basically said, we want this list so that we can have unwarranted home entry, without a warrant, warrantless home entry into homeschool, into this particular targeted group. And we want to be able to go in there, and you know, there's a lot of bad things happening all around the state potentially in some houses, but we have a legal system that says you have to have a warrant before you go in. However, because of this one instance, you know, some in the state want to be able to barge in and bust the door down, and I'm not being, you know, it's not hyperbolic. I mean, if they knock on the door and they say, no, I don't want you to come in, and there's all kind of reasons not to have them in. I hope I'm not the only one, but, you know, there's, to have the government come into your house, I don't know, there's a book called 3 Felonies a Day. Can't remember the guy's name that wrote it, but I mean, if the government wants to get you, they're going to find something. And so there's just, without warrant, they shouldn't be coming into your house. And so I just think that it's going to go beyond registration. That, you know, there's they're either naive or they're being disingenuous for anybody to say all we want to do is have a list. It's going to go significantly further than that. They're going to either want to know exactly what's being taught, or they're going to want entry into the houses. And so I think that this is a real problem. I guess I just wish that the debate would be sincere.
My resolution that I presented this morning, I wish that we would consider it. I don't think it's an issue that's going away. I think students have a constitutional right and reasonable expectation to privacy. I do. I've been very clear too and forthright with the fact that, you know, it's oppressive to ask a student that has left the public education system for whatever reason they've left to then ask them to register with that same system. We wouldn't do that in any other facet of society. And so to give people the freedom to exercise choices that work best for them is extremely important. Just because we're one of 11 states doesn't mean the other 39 are doing it the right way. I don't think we need to approach it from that perspective. And I just really want to push back on things we've talked about at this table. Public education is not safer than homeschooling, and that means it's incumbent upon us to address that. There are multiple pieces of evidence that we've discussed here at the board table time and time again that we do nothing about, that prove public education needs a safety overhaul before we can claim that homeschool leaves students more vulnerable. So sexual abuse epidemic, where we refuse to register school officials of assaulted students so they can be rehired elsewhere. Being concerned with requiring BTAM training, which we talked about recently at the local level. Due to resources, it would take the department to audit them. And yet here we are thinking we have the resources to audit every family's educational choice in the state. That's unreasonable. And countless stories that violate a safe learning environment across the state, which I don't think we're done with hearing yet. So when you use the words disingenuous, yes, I think it is very disingenuous to suggest that we need to audit families and their educational choices because of safety, especially private and parochial schools, right? What ends up happening in other states that register students in these buckets, as you say, is we end up overseeing their curriculum. They're making specific choices to not be in public education so that they can access a curriculum we're not choosing to administer to them. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you start to ask them to jump through hoops, and you're really interfering and discriminating against their right to exercise educational freedom. So, I don't think the topic is going away, and I certainly don't think that safety in public schools is something that we should shy away from. I think we should be spending our time, energy, and effort in that, because that's what we have a constitutional authority over.
Did you catch the gentleman's reference to 3 felonies a day? In a free society like America is supposed to be, we should not have all these rules and regulations. This is brought in by commies, okay? Just study history a little bit. But the idea is to bring out so many rules and regulations that eventually, when they want to, they can run around and scoop up anybody they want to for breaking or infracting on their rules and regulations, all right? But holy smokes, man, was that a little eye-opening little segment there? This is Michigan. Again, we talked about Michigan. Remember during the pandemic that they were the ones who locked up the seeds. You couldn't buy any garden seeds in spring. Remember that? Oh, today is actually the anniversary of the big fat lie. Happy anniversary, right? But I just want to keep bringing you guys the stories, because behind the scenes, while we toil and work hard to pay for all the inflated prices and the medicated food and water that we're drinking, they're behind the scenes putting in their little systems, putting in their little laws, putting in their little regulations to trip us up, okay? So just remember, 2024 is going to be a banger. Keep your preps up full 100%. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel. YouTube is unsubscribing people from our channel because, we're talking about things that actually matter, and we're trying to give you guys all the ammunition and proof that you need so you guys can make educated decisions, have full disclosure. That means you know everything that's going on, so you can decide, is that good for me, or should I do that? But if you only have one side of the story, you're never going to make a good decision. You're only going to be led into a decision. All right, make sure you share this with your friends. This is a big deal, okay? This is a big deal, and I bet a lot of you all out there have friends that homeschool their kids. All right, so we just want to share this information with everybody, make sure that everybody has their head on a swivel about it, so that way we can stop it too. If something starts irking up like this in your neighborhood at one of these meetings, you guys can stand in the gap as well. All right, make sure you hit that thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and the next couple of videos I have, they're just going to get better and better and better, because I want you guys to understand it is game on. All right, I don't know if you believe it or not, but I'm watching a lot of stuff going on, and there is a lot of stuff going on. All right, we'll see you guys on the next video, and make sure you're in prayer and stay spiritually fit.